And you were there to witness it, or not witness it, but you can stamp it though, saying yeah.
Yeah, I see it all. See, bro, because they had a dude at our hood. He was like saying, man, Slim wasn't do like that, and it's like how dudes be, bro. If they don't know your work, they'll kind of say that. Well, how you gonna say that if you just say you wasn't there? You don't know. You never ran with him. You know what I'm saying? Dude, he was like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you hear it all in the music. It's no doubt in my mind that it wasn't authentic. You can tell. Slim matches his lyrics. And then you got people like you and other people that stamp it as well. So, rest in peace, Soldier Slim. But you mentioned Sterling and how you looked at him different. But before I get on that, you said Stone came home. He was pretty much running people. Anybody that was soft, it sounded like.
Yeah.
It's like he came home with a. Go ahead.
No, when I didn't know Stone. All us, I met Stone in '93. I didn't know Stone before then because I didn't grow up on that side of the project. Any older than me. But my first time seeing Stone, he was talking to my mom. I had just came outside. Him and my mom were talking. I walked up. I went and sat on the porch. He come over there. He come talking to me like, man, look. He said, that what he said. He said, it'll be me and you. And he said, Douglas, he named a few other names. He said, everybody else, they got the good. They ain't about they got the good. They ain't hustling around here now. And then my mom, I'm saying, man, who the fuck is you? Because I don't even know him at the time. I'm like, man, who the fuck your boy is? But then Douglas Lou came around and he was telling me, he said, man, that's Stone. He used to call him, I forgot they had some name they was calling him when they was in Scotland or whatever. And I'm like, I said, well, all right. But, and he like a few dudes, he told, man, y'all can't hustle around here. And niggas got the fuck.
Was he like big in stature back then too?
Yeah.
Yeah, big dude.
He came home diesel, you know what I'm saying? Swole, big old tall, nigga knuckles all fucked up and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's just him.
So he came home and it seemed like he was trying to make Magnolia just keep like the thorough ones around.
Yeah, right, exactly. Especially in that area, in the circle, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And nobody tried to combat that or like, man, I'm still hustling right here. I don't care what Stone talking about. Nah, you just go ahead.
They ain't gonna get knocked out.
Yeah.
Stone, I was hearing about Stone before I met him. You know what I'm saying? Knocking dudes out and all that. So you don't want to get knocked out. They got just a big old project. You go hustle somewhere else.
For sure. So now you said you looked at Sterling different. So the original, let's say the original 4 Hot Boys. You got Sterling, Dooney, and Mosquito, and Gangsta.
Yeah.
Out of those 4. Which one would you say that you had the most respect for?
You got to be out those 4.
The original 4. I mean, who else you got in mind?
I had the most respect for Stone. I think all of us did. Okay. I think all of us, because Stone, like I told you, it have been situations where, like I said, none of us really had no money. Like this 93, 94 around that time, none of us really had no money except Stone. You know what I'm saying? So, and it have been times. And I know I done had a situation where I wanted to hit a little lick off, somebody he was messing with, and he'd be like, no. And him saying don't mess with it was enough. And I know Gangsta been in that situation too with him. You know what I'm saying? Where Gangsta wanted to jack one of his people, and someone would be like, nah, don't mess with that or whatever, and nigga just wouldn't. Anybody else, and you hurting, they gotta get got. But yeah, but out of them 4, I say I got love for all of them. I had love for all of them, but I had to say Sterling, bro. I had to say Sterling. Sterling kind of took me under his wing in a way, and people was thinking like he was crashing me out. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like that. Like he saw I was a little younger dude, a little cooler dude that was, and he knew I was about my business, and you'd take me with him, sometimes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time and you saw I look like a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I went with him in the Iberville one day, and one of the dudes, a monster out of Iberville, they talking. And soon the dude walked up, the dude told him, man, what you doing with that little boy with you? And Sterling said, man, there ain't no little boy. You know what I'm saying? He like, there ain't no little boy. I wasn't saying nothing, but I say it had to be Sterling, bro.
Oh, okay, so you saying like Sterling kind of put you under his wing?
Kinda, yeah. He was schooling me on a lot for that side of the game. You know what I'm saying? He could talk to me a lot.
Got you. Would you say he was because I did an interview with Gangsta. Gangsta pretty much broke down each hot boy. He said Sterling was the most aggressive and the most like hot headed. Could you agree to that?
Yeah, I agree with that. But he was hot headed in a different way. Dooney was the most the loudest. Like I think Dooney probably was the more aggressive. it was different. Sterling one of the ones, he ain't gonna do too much talking. You might not never hear Sterling raise his voice. Doing it gonna make a lot of noise and man, fuck that, and he add more animated than Sterling. Sterling would be like just laid back, just watching you. He'll be, he might be fussing with you, but he whispering, bitch ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? That's just how but probably Sterling.
So you said y'all was in the Ivoryville, and that's eventually where he unfortunately got killed.
Yeah.
Do you remember the day that you heard the news?
Not really, cause I was in jail. But no, not really.
But like, do you remember how it made you feel to know that somebody?
Yeah, I was messed up, bro. I was messed up, cause like I said, he was kind of dude I kind of had started looking up to. By him taking me with him, different places and doing this shit. But yeah, I was hurt about. Like I'd be hurt behind any one of them. You know what I'm saying? But that one kind of, yeah.
I mean, it's on the internet as far as who allegedly killed him.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear of him before all this came out?
I heard of him, but I never. I know dude.
Okay.
Me and him, I'm talking about since we done bought each other drinks, we done talked in there, but I didn't know at the time. I didn't know he was that skip. You know what I'm saying? Cause in my mind, it's the dude from out of Iberville. So I never thought that it was him. But me and homie, like we, mutual respect for each other, and that shit old. You know what I'm saying? Nigga don't be on that no. Nigga don't.
Yeah, when he first hit the scene, he said he shut down the Magnolia for 45 days.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Magnolia being shut down? I'm asking this question not to stare nothing out. Shout out to Skip and all that. But
he ain't tripping. But I had talked. Me and him talked after he did an interview. He called me. I didn't know who he was because matter of fact he texted me. And I'm like, who this is? He like Rippa, and I'm like, you got the right number? I didn't know it was him. I know him as Skip. He like this Rippa. I'm like, you got the right number. You looking for? He said this Skip. I'm like, yeah. So he called me, and I'm like, who this is? He said, man, there's Skip. I'm like, oh, what's up? So we talked about the interview and little shit, and it wasn't nothing, just like I said, mutual respect, what I'm saying? Yeah.
And one thing I know that's when he kind of first hit the scene, but whether he shut the Magnolia down or not, but he has to know that these people take everything literal.
Yeah.
So like 45 days, they really think you shut it down for 45 days. You could have shut it down for one day, the day they came back there and shot it up, whatever the case may be. But they take everything literal. Yeah. So that was just a rough start for him.
It was funny.
But
he like, man, I ain't mean that like that. Cause
right.
I'm like, ain't nobody that bad when you can just shut the whole party. But he didn't mean it like that.
Right. Good dude though. I ain't met him, but hopefully one day I'll sit down with him. But going back to the Hot Boys, what's your current relationship with Gangsta?
Me and Gangsta good. We good. I don't have no issue with him or nothing he be. You know what I'm saying? We me and Gangsta good. He used to call me a lot, on certain stuff, but we good. Okay. I don't have no issue with him.
For sure. And I just did an interview with him. Excuse me. And we were talking about how it wasn't the Magnolia versus the Calliope. It was just him, Blabba, and Hot versus the Calliope. He said a lot of people fell back. Would you agree to that?
Bro, listen. When me and Doolin was in jail together, we was on the tier together, and I told him we used to be calling him. I never knew that. In my mind, it was the Magnolia against the Calliope. I didn't find out till later that it was them three against whichever group of dudes out the Calliope that was. But right now, I don't know what happened or why certain dudes wasn't like fucking with him. Cause I could honestly, if I was home, I know for a fact I'd have been in there. If Doolin was home, I know for a fact he'd have been in it. Now, what happened? Why the hood wasn't really messing with it or with him? I right now today I don't know, and I never talked to him about it. I never talked to nobody else out the hood about it, and I kind of figured it was probably behind whatever the issue him and Stone had.